Hey, just checking. Are we live? Are we live, guys? I appreciate everybody for coming through. Definitely appreciate everybody coming through. Daryl Long, thank you. Big Dice, appreciate you. Miss D, thank you. Corey, it's been a minute, Corey. I read your message, feminist. Grace, I will not be able to make the live. Going through, definitely check out the replay. Appreciate you. Definitely hit that like, subscribe button for everybody. Oh, definitely hit the all bell notification because YouTube is very weird and very wonky with what's going on with YouTube. So just to everybody can keep up with the with any updates I have within the shorts, within the community tab. I tagged a few people that's within the shorts that made a comment, so I appreciate y'all. We're gonna actually have a reaction to one of the shorts for this Saturday. So that will be a topic. That'll be a reminder. Knowledge relationship. Definitely appreciate you. Says AI is the new life. Hey, we're gonna see, man. We're gonna have that conversation and see what's up. Cause a lot of people saying something different about the the AI lifestyle. So some people's happy with it. Some people saying, look, this is not the direction that we need to go. We might be somehow coming back to the Stone Age, full circle of disaster. Brett Broccoli. Hey, Brett, appreciate you, man. I hit you up a couple times. I think you was either asleep or walked away or doing your little normal broccoli thing. So appreciate you coming through, man. New York, appreciate you. And somebody was asking me a question in the messages, and I'm gonna answer the question real quick.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
All right, so let's get to it.
At last.
Where is it?
The king's back in the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do. I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. I'm bringing fire to the final call. Ain't nothing you can do, cause I want it all. Legendary every day, I'm invincible. Came to play, you feel the heat, break the chains and turn me loose. I'm bringing fire to the final call. There's nothing you can do, cause I want it all. Legendary every day, I'm invincible. Came to play, you feel the heat, now it's time to turn me loose. You can't hold me, I'm a go-getter. I go hard and go to war with you. I want freedom in its purest form. I can be the fire or the storm. No fear, never scared, forever dangerous. Got a wild heart, you can never tame it. I'm legendary at the top, I'm above the law. I'm hardcore, I give it to you raw. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. I'm bringing fire to the final call. Ain't nothing you can do, cause I want it all. Legendary every day, I'm invincible. Came to play, you feel the heat, break the chains and turn me loose. I'm bringing fire to the final call. There's nothing you can do, cause I want it all. Legendary every day, I'm invincible. I came to play, you feel the heat, now it's time to turn me loose. Yeah. I'm bringing fire to the final call. There ain't nothing you can do, cause I want it all. Legendary every day, I'm invincible. Came to play, you feel the heat, now it's time to turn me loose. It's time to turn me loose.
Yeah, yeah. I appreciate everybody. Yeah, it's a little bit long. I like it like that. It's a live streaming, so it's gonna be a little bit longer, maybe a minute or longer. It won't be like that for the uploads I will be doing. So bear with me. Um, this is the conversation we're going to have. I don't know anybody understands about GP chats or what is artificial intelligence. I feel like we went from having, we went from horse buggies to carriage to automobiles to pagers to cell phones, satellites, and now here we are to the point where we have computers that just got upgraded to the point where we have smartphones that's outsmarting the human being and making us dumb. That's just how I feel. Um, so now we have this thing called the real artificial intelligence, where we have between Facebook, Instagram. Now Elon Musk has advanced something where now we have robots. Right now, it wasn't just him. There's other developers out there that develop stuff like that. So we're gonna have that conversation, on the level of AI today. So I appreciate everybody for coming through. So we got Wes in the building, my brother from another mother, Mandrell, and last but not always not least, Jedi Mike. We have one guest that had caught out because he was sick, and we may have one more coming through. So I sent them a message, so we'll see how that goes. Hey, like the background, Mandrell. Like the background. All right, so gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and just play devil's advocate on it. So what y'all think about the AI now, like how the development we're going from, again, like horse buggy to cars to we had the fastest cars, we're landing on the moon. Now here we are, we actually went from smartphones to multiple apps. Now we got the GPT chat. And I just saw a micro, because I want to overthink it, but I literally just saw Microsoft just do a whole conversation about the GPT Pro chat.
Chat GPT Pro?
Yeah.
Okay. What's wrong with it?
I'm asking, like, do you have any pros and cons about it?
Yes, pros, all. All pros, no cons. Cons, zero. Chat GPT is a lifesaver, time saver. Chat GPT is the greatest thing ever made, ever, except for the aeroplane and pizza. No, very few beats that. I'm not even kidding. Like, if y'all not using Chat GPT for stuff, what are you doing with life?
Hey, so
Chat GPT is a lifesaver, bro.
All right, so the people who don't know, so what Chat GPT can do for you versus somebody else? Because I heard a few things, but I want to hear your input on it. Because do you have it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. I use it for business, bro. I swear, it started for that, right? I'll ask it, give me some ideas of this and the other. There's 10 ideas. Or I can take, give me 50 ideas for this. It'll give you 50 different ideas for something. Or you can say, write me a 20-page paper on this subject in this sentence structure, in this style. You give it the more specific your instructions, it will give you just that. And it will be complete, and it'll be completely legit. There's no way to tell the difference unless, like, say you're a teacher and you understand that your student isn't that good of a writer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you'll know. But listen, man, it's the bee's knees.
What's your thoughts on Jedi?
So, I guess just for this conversation, we have to clearly identify what does Chat GDP mean. It is a form of AI, artificial intelligence, but it's based off of, in terms of chat mean chat box, and GPT means generative, transformative, trained transformer. That's basically what it's called. So meaning that it is actually, yes. It's actually basically generating tasks in terms of, you've done regular code before, whatever tasks, you give them certain commands and they'll provide that outcome. How you able to give enough information they can to provide that outcome for you. So, for example, you can ask, "Hey, I would like to set up for example, we're in the space of YouTube. I would like to have give a YouTube bio for this particular type of channel about cooking, whatever." All right, and then it'll give you a base template of, okay, here's the general objective that you want to cover in this title, but then also to give you other recommendations on how to expand upon that. Okay, are you going to different recipes? Are you doing desserts? Are you doing savory? Are you going to be Mediterranean? Are you going to be Mexican food or Asian food, whatever, stuff like that? How it just expands upon that to add services now. Now, if you go to your app store, there's many different things such as chat box. There's other ones called AI chat. There's plenty of other AI based apps that are coming out right now that are basically are just derivatives of each other um, in terms of assisting them. And yes, now we're seeing that there are a lot of benefits of it. You know, in the first end, we see the new images of like, hey, I want to be dressed. I want to be a version of John Stewart, Green Lantern in space or something like that.
Mm.
And they give you that type of artwork and stuff compared to people who might want to use who are very trained, such as myself, like in graphic design, and doing something in Photoshop or in Illustrator, and then giving that outcome. And instead of you just did that in 2 seconds, with the other person would done that maybe 25 minutes to an hour, and that might produce a better outcome than the person or human person doing that. So, and people think, oh, this might be dangerous because this is removing people's jobs and other tasks that actually are kind of giving the middleman to these services, right? But then on for students, on the other hand, what Mandrell just said is about, hey, give me a 25,000 word essay about Shakespeare, right? And you get it just like that, right? Now, this just came out about what earlier, beginning of end of last year, right? So most professors and students have not been picking this up, but now they're starting to do and checking, like, wait, this student have been having issues with essays, and now all of a sudden they're giving A papers. Hey, you seen this, man? Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, he did this. I made some all my classes and stuff. Nah, something's up here.
But
You
Mike,
know,
they like I said, they won't be able to tell the difference because
they're start. Well,
here's the
they're
thing,
starting
prove
to.
it.
They're starting to now. Here's the thing.
Yeah,
There actually has been claims that that's backfired because on one hand you have teachers have a precaution of doing cheating and everything like that, but on the other hand you have students who are very good writers, and then all of a sudden their teacher like, this is so good that AI must have written this, and all of a sudden they accuse that student
right.
They're going to have
cheating,
to.
which actually happened. That actually happened. A case where a student actually sued whoever the school and everything because he was falsely accused of cheating of using AI or ChatGPT for his essays. So, and which he didn't. But then also it comes to the thing how you can prove that. So it's a bunch of
The,
other
the,
complications
the
with this
student's
topic.
defense has to be, well, the professor's actually really good, and I learned some things.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to have to switch to doing air gap computers and typing everything up in the classroom. But AI and Chat GPT, this stuff is actually kind of scary. Every time something new is invented and we have to outsource, and we outsource one of our skills, we've lost the skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Throughout all of human evolution, we were mostly agrarian societies. We knew how to farm. We knew how to. We could go to a different land. We knew how to make things grow or hunt. Most people cannot do that these days. We can't just go outside, find some seeds, and plant them in the right area and support ourselves. We've lost a lot of those skills. It'll be hard to regain them. And Angelus, what you were talking about in the beginning there with moving from horse and carriage to aeroplanes to man on the moon and cell phones, it's evolution. A lot of people call that the human knowledge doubling curve, where over the course of several thousand years, human knowledge doubled, but there was an exponential there where it's doubling faster and faster. So where it used to take it took 1,000 years and then 500 years for it to double. Now human knowledge is doubling every 12 hours, and we don't know how to deal with that. And the scary thing, and every time, like I said, a new technology is invented, and this is where the Luddites came from. They were textile workers, and the loom was invented. And their answer to that was to destroy the loom. Every time a new technology is invented, a lot of people will rise up against it and say, we don't want this. This is taking away our jobs. Well, your job wasn't useful in the first place. The thing that makes this truly terrifying, though, and this is where we're going to determine whether we are Luddites or saviors, is that we are now outsourcing human creativity and human intelligence.
Mm.
There will not be intelligence left over to rewrite new AI programming unless AI starts rewriting itself. At that point, has evolution taken its course and we've become the inferior and the AI the superior?
Do you think it will ever get that far though? The AI will start rewriting itself? Because if it does, then it comes to the point where we need machines and machines won't need us.
These violent delights will have violent ends.
No, but how the machines know that they don't need us? A machine's only going to do what you program it to do. We call things AI because it mimics human intelligence, but it's not going to be. Because when people hear AI, they think Ultron, basically. They think a self-aware program, which I say there isn't. Unless you're talking about a quantum computer, I don't know of a computer that can process the amount of data either at the same speed, in the same fashion, or faster than the human brain. Like there's so much going on in the human brain that people are unaware of. Like if you were to make a computer that could operate like a human brain, it would have to be the size of a skyscraper. It would have to take a flowing river constantly rushing through it to cool it. Like that's how powerful the human brain is. So what hardware is gonna, mimic human thought or mimic the human brain? We don't have that hardware yet that I know of. We do have a quantum computer. The thing is, we do have a quantum computer where they talk about what they call a quantum computer, but it's not really quantum computing. You know what I mean? It's badass. Don't get me wrong, but that's not real quantum computing. I mean, so you talk about AI, it's only going to do so much. And it's literally only going to do what you tell it to do.
Until it tells itself to do things.
It's not going to do that. That's not how. That's not
Here's
how
the
it
other
works.
scary part about that.
Hello, Ruby. How are you?
We cannot program
Good,
in
how
a
are
human
you?
soul and human morality. So is that going to be our moral arbiter, especially when it's the one that controls our phones? People in California and I think Arizona had this problem last summer, where a lot of them opted into the power company controlling their thermostats or controlling whether they could charge up their Teslas. They woke up and they got a little alarm said, "Hey, you opted into this program, and we're shutting you down for the day so we can conserve power."
Why would you do that though? That's on their fault. That's their fault.
They outsource
Hello, Ruby.
their responsibilities.
Hi.
Hey, Ruby.
Right.
Yeah, but
Hi, everyone.
Wes, you and I know.
Well,
You
don't
and I
worry about
both
me, Joe. Just
agree.
start talking.
Yeah, you and I both agree that you shouldn't outsource everything, and I think most things should not be outsourced because now you get to the point where you cut out jobs. Homelessness and income for Americans is already a problem, real problem. Finding gainful employment turns out it's a problem.
Mm.
And it's to the point where the government now lies to us. We're only at 3.7% unemployment. We're doing great, really.
The government just now started lying to us. When did
No,
this happen?
it's not
Exactly my point.
No,
Ned-
they're not just not lying. But what I'm saying is, you see all these people who don't have jobs. A lot of people are homeless. I'm like, okay, so where are all the jobs at then?
It's not lying.
Why don't these people have jobs then? The math just isn't math. I mean, so you can't outsource too much. You can create things that make things like jobs easier, more convenient. But it's like I got into a conversation with the guys from the 5100 podcast. You still need to learn how to do it the analog way as well. You still need to learn how to chop wood. You still need to learn how to operate the horse and buggy. That the old style. You need to learn the old style and the new ways as well. Because once that new stuff breaks down, or you don't have it anymore, what do you have to lean on?
All right, hold that thought. I'm gonna let Ruby go, but just to add to what you said, or I guess combat a little bit, that's fine. But how we are acting now as humans, let's say for example, we was walking, we had horse and buggy, then we created a car. Now we got the AIs, right? Like you said, we need something to replace. I don't know. I think us as humans, we're weird because we always finding ways to replace something else. Like, oh man, we had the chainsaw. Let me get this. Let me find a machine so I can sit in it and be a human chainsaw to cut down the tree. Then we got machines that actually can cut down the tree, grab the tree, take all the barks off of it, because we used to do that by hand, right? That's like 20 seconds. Now we can throw the tree away. So now it's going to be another machine to swap out for that machine. So I'll leave it like that. What you got? Your thoughts, Ruby?
Well, I think first off, is that we don't really realize, probably because there was not a lot of coverage on a lot of the times that AI, they've made these great technological advances and then we're terrified about what really happened. Because actually, they have proven, in essence, that while AI technically will not do something you didn't program it to do, we oftentimes are limited in our capacity to evaluate what they're going to be able to do with the commands we've given them. And so, for example, I can't remember exactly, but it was like, it wasn't like robots or anything, right? It was just like, supercomputers that think. And anyway, they ended up disconnecting them from the internet and shutting them down because they were terrified about where these supercomputers were going, what the information they were accessing. Now, the programmers could trace it back to commands, the if then commands they gave to the AI, but it didn't change the fact that they were adding, even though they thought they had it all down, they didn't realize that, oops, wait, we forgot to compute this thing. And we forgot ultimately that there's still aspects of our subconscious that control our behavior. So even when we think we're operating fully on if then statements, there's still some type of, consciousness that is, we're not aware of, that computers don't have. Therefore, they don't have morality. Therefore, they don't have the same kinds of limits that we do. They don't have the same types of, we think of things being common sense, but common sense really has to do with your own life experiences and whatever. Computers don't have that. AI doesn't have that. And so common sense would tell someone, if I meant this, if I told the computer only look for pictures of baseball, then they should only look for pictures of baseball and maybe, similar balls and whatever. And common sense would tell you that that has nothing to do with guns. But computers don't have common sense, right? They're literally every sense that they have or not is you programmed into them. So you can't just say words baseball. You're going to give them a bunch of parameters. And oops, if one of those parameters looks like one of those toy guns, or if one of those parameters looks like a bullet, or if one of those then they're pulling that information up as well, and then they're connecting to those websites. And then this is basically what happened with those supercomputers. They ended up going down. Honestly, it was very reminiscent of the horror movies, right? And they disconnected them from the
Shout
internet,
out to
shut them down.
T2, T1, T3, T4, T. Okay, I'll go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Not
But
Genesis.
yeah, right. So I mean, I think the thing is we're almost like blissfully unaware of how far technology has already come and how many times it's already lapped us, in essence, as people. Is there a human element though? Yeah, there's a human element that's necessary, right? Right now, AI can draw pictures and write books and stories and whatever, right? But
Yeah.
there's a human element that still to this day, if you look at those AI drawn book covers and stuff, there's stuff that's just off about it. It doesn't look stylized. It looks like you missed something, right? Like humans have fingers, not claws, or stuff like that. And so it's like little details. And so do we need humans? Yeah, but I think that ultimately the way that AI is going, we're going to need humans just to like kind of fact check things, or maybe just double check the work and whatever. But let's be real, a lot of us are going to be made redundant in the next like 50 years. It doesn't even matter what you think, you're going to be made redundant. We used to think that people in fast food were never going to be made redundant because you need humans for that. And then they came out with like AI restaurants, right? So I mean, like
Yes.
it's almost I can almost not think of anything except for childcare where you eventually could not be made redundant. Like it's
Yeah, I can. There's war.
This remembers me of Wally. Um,
mhm.
when everyone when we resort away from natural resources, and because we became so obese and became so lazy that we became on floating chairs, even letting AI actors a scene, actually an AI actually taking care of the babies on the ship and everything. So and there's no more, we're gonna be tired of just simple things like changing our clothes. We're just gonna have one suit and we'll change it for colors and all that stuff. It just and over time, you can see that in that movie, they showed the evolution of man, and the fact that we became, again, like so lazy, or letting other things do our jobs and stuff, or even such thing as exercise, that we are going to evolve as a species and just in general physically and everything, which I think that's something to fear too. You know, without creativity, without also things that actually exercising the human mind, then what else left do we have to do other than just to exist?
Yeah, but here's the thing: people are thinking when they hear AI, like I said again, they're thinking Skynet or Ultron or something like that. You know what I mean? They think like it's going to get a hold to the nuclear codes and it's going to kill us all. No,
Even if it's a
Doesn't have to have
glitch.
access to the. It doesn't have to have access.
it doesn't.
To the
That's not a
code.
glitch. That was if that happens, Angelus, that was intentional.
I'm just saying, let's put it like this: my smartphone, right? It's to me, it updates and remind me of stuff I don't even ask it to do. My computer, I think of the Windows 11, it'll update and remind me things of I don't ask it to do. It just pop up like, oh, my phone thought of me, yay! You know what I'm saying?
It listens to every conversation you have. Listen,
Yep.
I never typed in that I wanted some cheeseburgers, right? I just said I was hungry. I said maybe I can get some steak, get some dinner. I know maybe. Hey, I remember I got McDonald's, last week, whatever. Guess what? Open my phone.
There's ads
I'm
for
loving it.
McDonald's
Yeah.
and steak
I'm
and all
loving
that. Yeah.
These are microphones. These are
Yeah.
chips.
Yeah, WhatsApp was just caught. I mean, they lied about it and said it was a glitch, right? But they were just caught. A programmer looked at his phone and realized his phone had been on for hours in the middle of the night while he was sleeping. The microphone kept turning on, right? And so first it was like WhatsApp, and then no one was believing that. So then Google came in, everyone trying to cape for WhatsApp, being like, no, it's a glitch. It's a bug that's making this look like microphone. No, because we've all seen it happen, right? We've all seen it happen where we've said words. We didn't type it. We didn't type it anywhere. We said words in our own houses, and then we go onto our phone and suddenly we're seeing ads for that, right?
Wedding
so we
rings.
know they're stalking us. It's not shocking. Like if you don't know that, I don't know. You're very, very gullible.
That's what happens because you have signed your right when you have checked off a little in a little box called terms and conditions that you never read.
Which you have, by the way, you have no choice. You really have no choice.
You
even
have no choice.
Yeah, you have no
Otherwise,
choice.
you can do but cancel or accept.
Yeah, because if you want to use my product, you must agree to my terms of service. So, and that's what it is. No. And like Mike said, no one reads it.
No,
nobody. Who's going to read all that? You know what I'm saying? You scroll.
No, and they do it on purpose to have like that big block, tiny little writing because they know no one will read it. Do you guys remember when Facebook turned around and in their terms of service for like one day, it was like April Fool's or something, they put in that you were also selling them your soul if you terms of service. Y'all remember that? And people like it didn't slow people down. No one even complained. No one noticed. No one noticed that they were agreeing to sell their soul if they sign up for this.
I said this is legally unenforceable. Let's see what happens. Click yes.
That's terrifying, though, right?
It's not terrifying.
No, it is. You know why I say it's terrifying? Because it made me realize, like en masse, how many people don't read those contracts. We don't read them at all, but they're contracts. They are legally binding contracts that are saying, hey, I'm agreeing to something. And then people later get angry or upset when they find out what these companies are really doing with your information or the fact that they're taking your information or whatever. And it's like, it was in the terms of service. No one read it. And who knows what else we could potentially agree to, right? People sign up for 23andMe, don't realize what they're signing up for. They don't realize that it's not just that you're signing up to, trace your genetic lineage. You're also signing up to help the police track criminals. So you might not be a criminal, but if your uncle is, they're going to be able to use your DNA to catch your uncle, put him in jail or whatever it is. People don't realize they're signing up for these things because they don't read the terms and service. They just don't. So it is kind of problematic. I'm just saying.
I just find it fascinating. I find the fact that it scares you that people don't read those terms of service agreements fascinating.
I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, because I think it's no one like for years I've known. No, even when I look at it myself, I'm like, no one's gonna read all this, including myself. So and I need the cell phone so people can contact me and I can contact them. You really do. I think Angela said it. You really don't have any choice here. If you want the services, you have to sign on and agree to the terms of service. So people figure, why bother reading it? I need it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the reason why I think that's scary is because I don't know, maybe not that long ago, there wasn't that much that could trip you up with these terms and service. Mostly with your cell phone contracts or your pager contract or something, right? But like when you're seeing the way that AI technology is evolving, when you see the fact that we have Bitcoin, which is basically mining for data, where are they getting all this data from they care about so much? Right. When you see all of that, it makes me think to myself, well, geez, no one's reading these contracts, and there's so many of them. What are we giving people permission to, especially when you're thinking about apps like TikTok that are not even American owned, right? And when you think about WeChat, that literally the Chinese government has full access to, and has full access to everything that company
and TikTok
makes, including TikTok. Exactly. So, it's like, why am I afraid of that? Because I don't know what was in my terms of service, right? And no one does. And we don't know at what point we decided to let the Chinese government spy on us, in essence, right? Give them our information. And we explicitly did it. It was right there written out in term 7. No one read it. And that's what happens all the time, right? So I find that, I do find that really scary because of the implications, and because of the fact that we're so in the habit of doing it now, that later, if someone really wants to screw over an entire country or an entire demographic, it's not going to be that hard because no one reads anything.
Well, that's why America, the government doesn't allow certain companies to sell products here. For example, Huawei makes a cell phone that annihilates the iPhone and the Samsung. Annihilates it. Fantastic product. However, in the software and in the hardware, it works in a way where they can actually eavesdrop through the device. Now, the U.S. government is not going to tell you that they do the same thing through Apple and Samsung products. U.S. government does listen in on your conversations. Anything with a microphone, like smart TVs, they listen in because there are mics in the smart TVs. Mm-hmm. Anything with a microphone, they can hear you. U.S. government does, but they don't let other foreign companies with the same kind of or similar tech do the same thing and sell those products here, because then it's a national security issue. What if someone who works at the Pentagon or works at Langley buys one of those products? They have it in a clean room. Now that now a foreign government is listening in on that conversation, so they don't allow. They do a good job of keeping that kind of stuff out of here. You're not going to get every single solitary one of them, but they do a good job. But just to let the audience know, that's one of the reasons why other countries get certain products and we do not.
You know what? I'm sorry. I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback there, just because I'm not American. I'm Canadian, and y'all have a lot of things that Canada will not approve.
Like candy?
What's it called?
Cheeseburgers.
What's that thing you guys do? Money, Cash App. Cash App.
Oh,
We
Cash
can't
App.
have Google
Venmo,
Voice.
Cash App, Venmo, and it's something else.
I mean, I don't know, because we don't have them.
Well,
Voice, we don't
the thing
have.
is, you guys are Canadian. Our government is taking advantage of us.
Yes. No.
And we think we know it, and we don't protest.
Madra,
So
are you? Hold on, Madra. Are you saying we're privileged, sir?
Yeah.
Are you saying we're living in poverty? We're not privileged, sir?
We're not privileged at all, dude.
Okay.
You have no idea.
No, but it's not even that. It's
because
just like
things like Cash App and Venmo can't process maple syrup. Sorry.
ha 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 ha. We don't. But no, I think the thing is, right, and because it scares me how much America stalks Americans, and how oblivious America is to that. Because all I need is like 2 pieces of information from anybody, and I can find out your entire life story. I can find out all the last 3 places you've lived, your phone number, your last 3 jobs. I can find out everything. And Americans, I think, because America is very kind of, ethnocentric and doesn't care about anyone else, doesn't realize that everywhere else in the Western world isn't like that. If I give you my entire name and date of birth, you cannot find out half of the information about me that you can find out about the average American. I can't even find myself, and I have all of my data, and I cannot Google myself, because our information is not readily available, because there's not a million different companies stalking Canadian citizens. They're not allowed to. And so as a result, that's why a lot of because I used to get really mad that we didn't have some things, and then I realized it's because Canada's not going to approve it, because it's stalking your transactions, it's stalking who you're calling, what you're typing in there, and da 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 da. And so there's normally we'll get things a little bit later, and if you look at the terms of service, I didn't do this myself, but I've seen YouTubers talk about it. They'll be slightly different, right? Because Canada's only going to approve up to a certain level. And then after that, they're actually serious. No, I'm sorry, you can't take that information and sell it to third-party people. Sorry. So
let me say this.
Where was the pushback, though?
Yeah, hold on, because I don't think
I agree with all that.
Yeah,
well,
big.
then there
I
you
don't
go.
know if Big Dice was referring to you. I don't know if Big Dice was referring to you. That's what he said. Who does our country actually owe the money to and the debt? If anybody will respond to that, that's fine. We can get
I
back to
can.
the AI one.
Contrary to popular belief, it's not China. We owe more money to Japan than we do China.
America owes a lot of money to a lot of people, though.
As is kept, Wes, as
What I
much
do?
of our debt as China does own, and it is a lot, we owe more to Japan than we do China.
But like, it's scary what America does. Like, I mean, with the tobacco settlement, right? When America sued the tobacco companies and won, right? And then they took that $40 billion, said, no, we'll take your payment in a yearly payment based on how much you sell, guys. And then they went and borrowed the $40 billion and said, hey, we'll pay you back based on the rate that we think that the tobacco companies are going to be paying us. So they're in essence $40 billion in debt to unknown persons, unknown countries, right? So this is why it's such a big deal when all of a sudden, America started cutting down very dramatically. Instead of 2% per year in smoking, they were cutting down 10-20% a year. This is why America panicked, because, hey, how are they going to pay back their debtors? And what do you do when your country's in debt and you can't pay back your debtors? Are they going to just own America? Well, like, what's
No,
going to
they're
happen?
not.
So they can't afford to allow that to happen, right?
Yeah,
So
that's a
that's why
good-
they don't care about Americans.
That's a good question.
Literally, here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna wait. What do you mean? Yeah, we owe you money, but you're gonna wait. Make me pay it. I tell you what, come get it. Come get your money.
Yeah, but how long?
The thing is, y'all don't understand how strong America, the average citizen and people in the world, you do not understand the power that America wields. You really do not understand. As a person who's been behind the curtain, seen this stuff, talk to people who have actual power, you do not understand
Even
the
though
power. I tell you what, we're gonna make you default to your debt. Okay, go ahead, try it.
okay, so even though we owe
You're not gonna do.
even though we owe trillions of dollars to the two countries you just named, plus, mind you, now the crap that we went through, not to Canada, I don't want to put that on her.
We don't owe them any money.
I'm saying the stuff that we went through to C-19 for the whole 2 years, and technically some states are still claiming they're going through it. I don't want to say the name, but Cali's the worst state ever. Shout out to them. But and we had the rise of what's the stimulus and all that stuff, and still that money had to get repaid back. So that was like another debt within itself. So you mean to tell me money that's owed that we owe, we just like come and get it?
No, you're gonna get it when I give it to you.
I'm just trying to figure out how it works. Because like the basic, not be saying the basic debt collectors. We know how that goes. Most people do. The basic debt collector.
Right.
Hey, I put loans out. I come now with those people. It's like, hey, I'll leave out my home or change my number or put a title somewhere. I go somewhere else. That's how the average American do that. So how is the government? Us as the government doing that to them?
To put it in the most layman's terms possible, and just so everyone would understand. You're going to get the money. I'm going to pay you. I am. But you're going to get what I give you. Number one is payments. And you're going to get your money when you get it. I don't have to pay you all of it up front. That's the purpose of the loans. I can pay it over time. Like, this is like, to put it in a simple language, that's how this is working. And that's why there's China and Russia are making moves to try to dethrone the petrodollar and get rid of American currency being the world reserve currency. There are moves being made. However, before that becomes successful, please, y'all don't know who you're dealing with. Y'all really don't. Listen, I would say some things out, but I have to say that offline. But listen, it is wild how things actually work, and even more, what you should be afraid of is what America's going to do to prevent that from happening. That's what you should be afraid of. It's not going to happen in our lifetime, but the fact that it's not and it should, that should scare you.
All right. With that being said, shout out to Big Dice for having that conversation within the conversation. So shout out to you. So going back to that whole AI and GP chat, just AI in person. So with everything we said earlier, so my question stands to reason. So are Americans, us as people, are we lazy? And do we live the nomad lifestyle? Because I think this might be helpful too. Like, we're
lazy, but we don't live a nomad lifestyle. We're super lazy. That's the Canadian. She's looking from the outside. We're terrible, dude.
Is this the Canadians are much better? Gosh.
No, I'm
No.
not saying they're much
No,
better.
Canadians are also very lazy, but Americans are more lazy than we are, right? And then Canadians are more lazy than most of the world, right? So I mean, like, there are levels to this. We
I
just
agree.
are slightly less ancient than America. That's all. Yeah.
What about the Southerners in the states, like Georgia, Florida? Well, not all of Florida. Oregon. I'm just trying to represent some states out there. I got supporters.
We got to look at the unemployment levels at each state.
True.
Every time we invent a new technology, it is to provide a convenience. If you think about it, when we first started lighting cities, we used gas lamps. Eventually, the cities grew too large and technology progressed. Gas lamps didn't make a whole lot of sense. They eventually started transferring over to electric lamps. There was a problem there where the lamplighters unions were like, "Hey, why are we doing this? Like, stop putting us out of a job." And
they went and worked for the electric company.
That's not how that works. You know that.
I know.
And ask Little Miss Maple Syrup over here. Freaking.
Hey, we like this.
She brought it up earlier about how we thought we needed fast food workers. First of all, fast food workers always claiming that they need more money. No, go back 2,000 years. If you hunted for rabbits, you ate rabbit soup. You could eat 100%. You could have 100% rabbit diet and still die of starvation.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it costs more calories. You burn more calories digesting the rabbit than the nutrients the rabbit gives you. It's not very. It's not a nutrient. Yeah, it's not a nutrient. It tastes good though. It's just not nutrient dense at all. That's why I prefer snakes more so than anything else out there in the wild. Or I can catch deer.
Jobs that we're losing to some of these jobs that we've lost, like these fast food worker jobs. Let's call that hunting for rabbits. These were people that never would have survived 2,000 years ago. They weren't hunting the prey that was going to feed their family. But now, because they kept demanding higher wages, what happened? Okay, let's get the little flippy robot in there. Let's program the fully functional AI restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
They've gotten rid of most of
McDonald's is like that.
Yeah,
they got McDonald's where they don't need people in there. Like people go to McDonald's, order food, and it just come.
Well, what's that? Because
that's it.
What state is that? Because I saw that in another country years ago when they did that, a fully functional restaurant for McDonald's and an actual restaurant somewhere else in another country. It wasn't here in the States for me. I didn't see.
They have some here in the States.
I think it's in America. Yeah, I remember seeing
it.
Last
Some here
year.
stateside.
Maybe they can finally get the order right,
bruh.
Right, I know, right? Well, that's good. This might be better.
Right?
This might be better. You high school students. You know what I'm saying? With your minimum wage jobs, you can't even get that right. Okay?
I'll let you be on this one.
You brought it on yourselves. Okay. You don't do your homework. You don't read. We just established that. Okay. So you come on your cell phones and you tweet and you twerk and all this other bullshit. Listen, forget about it. This is why the special forces and people in special operations can't select. You're fat. You're lazy. You're dumb. Okay, this is why we can't select in special forces anymore. It's a sad state of affairs, man.
To be fair, everybody's not trying to serve, so I don't say that to the public. But
that's cool. You ain't got to. Just saying.
That's Medro speaking on his behalf for the other youth out there. I have my own opinions.
Fair enough.
Let me add to my previous statement there about rabbit hunting in McDonald's. Who was it? There's a woman that started not IHOP at a different restaurant. She was just a server. She worked her way up to like the CEO or the executive level within that.
Wendy?
No, within that organization. They wouldn't promote her to CEO, so she accepted the position of CEO at a different corporate restaurant chain. And then she
so stupid.
Bought IHOP. Any job is a dead end job if you want it to be a dead end job. If you're not actually trying to pursue greater things.
But there's only a few amount of spots in the executive level. Now I'll tell you what AI can do: take their jobs. They don't actually do anything. It's just like take the military, for example. There are in the tech. There's no country on the earth who can compete with our military tech. You're not even close. Not on the same freaking planet. Now, hey, I promise you, you're not even on the same planet.
There's a film called Oppenheimer, which is coming in theaters in July. I think history's going to repeat itself.
Ruby's trying to tell us how Canadian warfare tech is better than.
I'm going to actually, because it's the only thing I know. And I remember this. No, it's the only thing I know. This kid, when we were like in the 5th grade, did a project on it. I remember thinking how stupid and boring it was at the time, but I'm glad he did it because I never would have heard of it otherwise.
It's called Canadian geese. We don't
no,
like them.
It's called the Agro Arrow. Smart ass. And so
Agro Arrow, what a Canadian name.
Agro Arrow. The Agro Arrow is why Canada and America have had a peace accord and an allyship for so long. And so we were well ahead of America. And not only were we ahead of America in our, weapons of war, but it was scary and they had no idea how to detect it. And they had no idea how to rip it off or steal it because, we had basically so many different people had built the Agro Arrow. There was no one person you could say have co-opted or paid off or whatever to get enough information for you to have replicated it. And that's actually the reason why we have the peace accord to this day still. So I'm just saying if we were that advanced, I think it was 1920s or 40s. If we were that advanced then, and we were starting from there, you think we just decided to just chill out between then and now and whatever? Like, no, nobody's announcing like their tech out loud, right? I think a lot of Americans are mostly assuming how ahead they are because of the billions and trillions of dollars that's sunk into the military like black hole budget that no one knows where it goes to, or no one gets to see the the fruits of all of that.
I get to see it.
Well, it's certainly not going to Canada.
I get to see it.
It's not going to Canada, but y'all don't know what comes to Canada. First of all, y'all don't even know what we do. We as Canadians, they make sure to keep like a really tight lid on like any type of military or secret operation. Otherwise, like there are people like people might have heard of CSIS. A few people have actually heard of that. A lot of Canadians have never even heard of it. We didn't like a lot of Canadians 20 years ago didn't know we had like our version of say the CIA or our version of other types of military intelligence or domestic and foreign intelligence, and some people still have no idea. And then the people who are part of these organizations aren't allowed to tell their friends or family or whatever. Everything is very hush hush in Canada. So I'm just saying you might be underestimating us.
No, we're not underestimating you. It's just like the tech I've seen is like,
not you, mostly West. Right.
Yeah, most people in the West. But the thing is, in Canada,
he did throw the jab.
The thing is, no one's worried about you. Like real talk. Like here's the thing. Like real talk. No one is afraid of Canada.
They was worried.
No one's worried about Canada, and that's a part. That is an advantage. I agree. That is an advantage that Canada has. My thing is, like, if you think about it for 2 seconds, Canada is a major country. It really is. So it would have to have an intelligence branch of government. It would have to operate in a similar fashion to America, the United Kingdom, China, Russia. It would have to have infrastructure to that level to maintain its status. It has to. It's just you guys. No, it does. It's just they don't get into shit with anybody. They don't get into fights with anybody, so no one really thinks about Canada.
Well, wouldn't that be a good thing though? Because like
it's a fantastic thing. I mean, but if you're top dog, which America is, the things that we do, even in peacetime, you have to do to stay on top. Here's the thing. Now, I'm not gonna things I would never talk about. Canada gets into it too. It's just not broadcast on a national stage. The things you guys do to maintain your status. I think you're proving
your point, Ruby. I think you're kind of proving your point.
Here's the thing. The part I'm disproving, though, is the tech. No, you're not. The tech. Your military tech? No, you're not.
Receive facts or you're wrong.
Ruby, on behalf of this American,
we have DARPA.
Its status as chief maple syrup supplier of the world.
Right. We have DARPA.
You know what? We also supply Canadian beef. We supply PEI mussels. I don't know why you're trying to hate on Canada. Okay, Canada is like
Because Canadian
just
bacon tastes like
powerful.
ham. It
No,
doesn't
you know
taste
what?
like
Listen,
bacon.
here's the thing,
I
right?
know,
And
right?
Canada has an advantage that Japan
Why did how dare
recognizes
they call
an
it bacon?
incredibly huge advantage. Yeah, see, Canada Dry. There you go. We also took over ginger ale.
We
Now,
got ginger ale here too, though.
yeah, I know it's Canada Dry. Didn't you see Jedi Mike is drinking it?
It's
Now,
like the
okay,
least favorite soda in America.
Right,
What?
we got
listen,
Seagrams.
That
that
is
is not the
incorrect.
Thank you, right? It's not our fault you have terrible taste.
That is, but we are being
That's
petty.
all I'm hearing.
We are
That's
being
all
petty.
I'm
We
hearing.
Ginger ale
Wes
is
and
the
I-
only
we-
thing you
we
have
just
82 people here. Ginger ale, Canadian dry ginger ale is the only thing I'm going to drink. Aside
It's,
from water.
it is the best ginger ale. If there's like, I don't know, I don't like the rest of any type of
Whippers,
ginger ale
no.
besides Canada
Seagrams,
Dry.
no.
Saying. I'm just
fair
saying.
enough,
But
Ruby.
listen,
That-
Canada
But now
has an
you-
advantage that Japan realizes an incredibly intelligent advantage, and that's why Japan started kawaii culture. They wanted to become the harmless country, right? They didn't want people to see them as having had concentration camps of other Asian people and whatever, and having been dangerous warlords. They didn't want that reputation. They wanted the reputation of being innocent and cute and cuddly and harmless. And now there you can see that their little propaganda campaign really paid off, because most people see Japan as harmless. I mean, maybe like I know y'all military folk, y'all aren't idiots, right? But I mean, the majority of the population, when they're looking at Japan, they think of Japan of, oh, there's anime and they're cuddly over there, and oh my god, their adults like to wear cat ears, and like they're dudes too, like they're also androgynous over there. They're not masculine, they're not manly, so they're not scary, right? And like that propaganda campaign can be a really useful thing when people they're not paying attention to you, and they're not afraid of you, so they're not working against you.
Well, I like to talk about AI. I think that's a good conversation topic.
Right.
But I think
little AI
but
girlfriends.
They're Jedi. They're flexing their masculinity over the
Yeah.
technology. and everything.
I'm relaxing my masculine energy and actually coding my
I just
brain.
wanted to make one
I'm
point.
just chilling.
So the fact that after World War II, America told them that you cannot have an army, you cannot have this, you cannot have that, so that you can not be a threat for the next 70 years had nothing to do with that.
How long ago was World War
They have a
II?
very strict.
Yeah, since World War II, and
No, I'm
that
asking.
embargo
nigga,
lift-
We are responsible for their.
Hold on. Time out. I'm
Yeah.
asking how long was. I'm gonna ask a question. We're gonna get back to what Jedi was saying. So how long ago was World War II?
1941 for us.
Okay, so
Because
that's
we got
my
hit
well.
Pearl Harbor. So
okay,
since
cool.
the 40s up until 4 years ago, now
Okay,
they're
so
allowed
my
to have
point-
an army, a
Yeah, so
military.
so that's my point I'm making. So if we're going that way back, and again, where we at now? So back to the AI and technology now. So we can't say 100% what Canada and any other country have versus where we at sitting right now, not 2 feet. Jedi Mike, on you, sir.
Oh, please.
Thank you. So
Oh,
after
please.
we have made this more of a colonial conversation here, I like to go back into the topic of AI. So other than we talk about McDonald's and food and restaurants and all stuff, let's go into forms of entertainment. As you can see, everyone they want to give everything in terms of more flashy thing. Hey, make yourself look like a millionaire princess or something like that on and post it on Instagram. Everybody changing their profiles and stuff, not knowing that security issue. You just gave them access to your face for them to use later in the future, i.e. Westworld. But anyway, going back into the entertainment conversation, what's happening right now in terms of Hollywood? The writers' strike. What is the writers are having this argument about? We're not getting paid fair wages because now we're in the age of streaming and episodes and is now being made shorter, and now because of viewing content now, writers are not being compensated for the stories that they're making for these shows and movies. Well, you can ask Chat GDP if you haven't. I already have. Ask me, hey, give me a better script of X-Men Origins Wolverine, or hey, give me a better script of Spider-Man 3, or something like that, and they can give you a base storyline, of who has a beginning, middle, and end, climax, all that stuff, and done that for in a span of maybe a minute. Now, you're basically taking away the option of like, well, listen, writer, I can ask ChatGDP or my AI friend to give me this story that I'm paying you for. Well, guess what? You can still write, based off of what I'm giving you, but guess what? You're gonna have a little pay cut. You're not gonna get paid fully if you just made the story original. Again, going back to the point Wes was talking about creativity. So now that's what's happening right now. Is that now that we have a tool of AI and help assisting in terms of people making better scripts or all this stuff, or making their own scripts. They don't need writers. They don't need people anymore to write these stories. That again, that's removing someone's job, and also more importantly, the pay that they're giving to them, and or the determining factor of how much you're paying these people because of AI and artificial intelligence. And slowly, there's gonna be popping out things too. It looks these pictures and everything looking more realistic. They can just do animation. Hey, make me an animated cartoon. It's just as simple as that. So I just think that again, that's what I think one of the baselines is first what they're starting out right now. That eventually, as they keep improving and developing more, it's just gonna get a little bit more difficult for artists or creators to actually to produce content on their own. What is then original content?
That's true. And I'm glad you said it. Let me show this real quick because that's kind of leading up to I had two little topics with that. So they're actually leading up to what I was going to show now. So everybody bear with me.
Let's get back to program.
I know that's right. Shout out to Jedi Mike. So this is pretty much what I had up on a short later that had me think about this topic. So this is Elon Musk is building a robot wife. So that was the whole trending thing between TikTok and some other spaces out there. So play this real quick and y'all let me know what y'all think about it.
Last couple of days, photographs of Elon Musk have been going viral. Images of him dancing and kissing a female robot. In fact, a series of female robots has taken the internet by storm. Now, many of these viral posts claim that the billionaire was in fact in the final stages of creating a female humanoid robot that would be sold through his company Tesla in the idea of selling a robot wife, if you will. Now, according to those posts, she had even been given a name, which they referred to as Catanilla. And many users went on to explain some of the features that this robot wife would display. For example, she works with solar energy without charging. She's equipped with sensory means that make her feel emotions like sadness and happiness, the fact that she has a balanced and interactive mindset so that she can share that if she wants to. So these are just a few that were going around on the internet. Yes, Tom, for the last couple of days.
So first of all, I got the first question to the chat. So to the chat, do y'all think that look real? Oh, my bad. I look like Ruby's fan. So like, ooh, yeah, Elon Musk. Oh, my bad.
No, I was vaping. I wasn't expecting it to come back right then. So I was like, oh, I don't want to blow like a big cloud. So.
Yeah, you got 59 seconds in the shorts. But chat, do y'all think, or chat to the panel, do y'all think that those images are real? That Elon Musk is actually dancing and kissing the robots? Yes or no?
Yes.
No.
No, Wes Mandrell, you think that was real? Elon Musk was kissing the robot?
Was he kissing a robot? Yeah, but I mean, maybe he's a weirdo. So I mean, I mean, anybody whose brain moves at that velocity all the time,
it doesn't.
Socially, well, there you go. I agree with you. I don't think it actually does, but
nope.
The picture probably was, but I mean, where's the AI threat though? I mean, these sex robots and stuff like that have been out. This ain't nothing new. They've been out for a while. They've been prototypes, and different manufacturers and companies have made them for decades now. I mean, I think that now they're becoming mainstream, but
yeah, but that kind of come back to what I think me, Ruben, I think even me more so me and Wes was saying about how human beings is lazy, want to be more enclosed doors and enclosed spaces, just away from general public, because just of that type of AI. Because remember, we've been had the sex robots, right? So now we got one that actually can communicate more with you. First, you just had a land lump of clay molded to a woman's side of the boobies, even though they got the boobies fake ones inside of them. Shout out to them. Now you got ones that actually can interact, be a little bit more mobile, be a little bit more interactive with man and woman. So it's like, it's bad enough we don't need the stuff that you was mentioning earlier, the chainsaws, the laser cutters, heck, even the cars. Because I haven't seen one clip where they pretty much had it when they had the Tesla, but when a Tesla was introduced, they was pretty much driving themselves. So now it got to this point. Now it seemed like we don't even really need real human interaction when you got these type of AIs out now.
So
I mean, what doesn't that defeat the purpose of getting the doll in the first place? In the whole thing, like, I don't want to hear you talk, so let me just get this robot instead.
No, the point of the point of the dolls, right? Because I mean, I've been in the red pill spaces for like a long time, way before these dolls were even remotely passable or attractive, in any way. But the point of the dolls is not that it's not that men don't want to hear conversation, or that they don't want to have a back and forth or whatever. It's just oftentimes that they either are not great at interacting socially in real life. They can't get access to that real life conversation because people aren't choosing them, or because they want a particular type of response, right? So maybe they don't want pushback. They don't want to risk that you're going to disagree with them. They want someone to say, "Oh my God, you're so smart. Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh my God, you're so tough. Ooh, that makes me horny. Come get me," like, or whatever, right? And you can give these robots a personality, and you can tell them basically, again, like we were saying with the if then statements, if I say this, then do this. If I say this, then do this, right? And that's really what the appeal is that you can get a woman to say or do exactly what you want her to say or do, right? And that's like, I just did a story like last week, and then I dropped the pre-recorded video right before I got here because we were doing an AI discussion, and it's on this chick. Her name was Karen Marjorie. She's a Snapchat influencer, and she decided to make an AI of herself. Now, this is way more effective in one way than the robot thing, because the robot is limited. You get this big chunk of whatever, and there's some limits to it. There is a physical body there, though, but her AI is online, and so you can literally make this robot have whatever conversations you want for just $1 a minute. You're basically renting her, and you're getting the woman's voice, the woman's image, and whatever, and she will say whatever in essence you need her to say. So do you need her to say how ingenious your dating plans are? Do you need her to say how horny you make her? Whatever. She'll do it for $1 a minute, right? And millions and millions of guys can all interact with the exact same woman at the exact same time because she's the hottest one in the world, and get their egos fluffed by this hot Karen AI woman, right? And so what's the risk
Why
there?
the AI got to be Karen though? Is she snitching on
Right, right.
Like, her
Got a
name
couple things.
is IN Karen Marjorie. That's her.
Oh, okay. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's
She
her
called me
actual name.
Barbara Karen at
Yeah.
home.
So, but what's the risk? The risk is supposed to be twofold. So the men are saying the risk is that men are not going to bother with women anymore. They're not going to bother with the dating process and whatever because they don't need you. They have like these sex robots, or they have the AI, so they don't need women anymore. And then on the other side, there's a huge risk that, well, let's be real, the incel issue is going to become worse because the people who are already socially awkward and don't know how to speak to people in real life and don't know how to maintain relationships and don't know how to, build confidence as they lead and make decisions in real life, that problem is going to get worse and be reinforced, right? So I think on one side, it could be good practice, but if you overuse it, it's just going to create a lot more
All right.
problems than it
I'll
solves.
I'll let Wes go, and because I really don't have no argument pushback of that except for the beginning. Women has the roles. Women has like multiple tools between the sheets. So that to me, that's their substitute for most men in certain occasions. But go ahead, Wes.
So these Elon Musk images were actually AI generated. So that really falls right in line with the conversation, among other things. I mean, AI, because we had several news outlets around the world reporting on them, not realizing that these were AI generated images. So that's how scary real AI can get with us.
Correct.
Now, but that did spark the other conversation that I was trying to get to it earlier, that AI relationships already exist. It's a big problem in Japan. It's becoming a problem in China, where men can buy a subscription to these AIs. It'll text them at work, and they can flirt at work. Then they get home, and they have this little hologram AI anime girl that they have their relationship with. So it's already becoming a problem. And if you
Yeah.
look at video games, how people get into video games and how they become so attached to these video games that are completely fake. Remember, before we had these fake lives that we live online, we had real lives that we
You up?
lived out loud.
Facts.
But so we're looking at a whole societal evolution process where not everyone's going to make it, and I'm okay with this.
Mm. I think I have an issue in general since, listen, since the millennial generation, basically, right? Like I'm kind of like a Zennial. I'm at the top of the millennial. So I was raised under kind of Generation X. And then, the technology boom happened as I was coming into adulthood. And I think what happened is, immediately after that, you had this generation of kids coming up and no one knew what to do with them because they were suddenly, they're like cell phone proficient and social media proficient and all these things. And they're adults, their parents didn't know how to deal with them. And so what happened is we started making a lot of really stupid rules for kids, especially in school. Like, for example, they outlawed having best friends, for example. Like, so grade school children were not allowed to have best friends. And
Is that a
then they said,
Canadian problem?
hey, pardon?
Bruh.
I've never heard of this before.
You really? No, this is actually American. So I covered this when I was, well, actually, every time I do a news show, my partner is American. But yeah, no, this is actually happening in America. Now, I'm not saying it's not also happening in Canada, but it was definitely happening in America. Another thing that they did was they were not allowing kids. So, like, when we used to go to school, grades 1 to like 6, you're with the same 30 kids or so, give or take.
Mhm.
Well, they started breaking that up because, again, they didn't want cliques to happen. This was all supposed to prevent bullying and prevent people from outcasting each other and make people accept everybody and not engage in all this online bullying and stuff. And it didn't do that, right? So it just, every decision that they're making was just harming children's socialization in general. And that's what you're seeing now is a bunch of adults, both men and women, who do not know how to properly socialize with one another. And so, and actually don't even really desire it, unfortunately. I mean, women don't desire getting married anymore. They don't desire having someone to, hold them at night or to protect them or to earn for them or, whatever. They're not even desiring having like, fathers help them raise their children these days. And then likewise, you have men who are not desiring, they're not even desiring progeny anymore, right? They're saying, no, I don't want to deal with these women. It's not worth it, whatever. And like the segment of men and women who are saying that is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it really, the problem has to do with like technology, yes, but it has to do with technology way before we get to the sex robots and stuff. It has to do with the way adults in their lives are reacting to technology and weaponizing technology against socialization because they do not understand what socialization means, including technology. And so I
And
think that that's the biggest issue.
yeah,
I assumed it was
that's a perfect
feminism.
example. Yeah, because Vaughn said anybody seen Megan. So if anybody ever seen the Megan movie, what she
Mhm.
just said, that was the perfect example right there. It wasn't, even if it was an incel, no incel, just the fact on that alone, let me put this in front of my child and I can do whatever I want because that would be the answer. And it wasn't the answer.
Right. Exactly. Right. And I mean, she brought up some of the issues at the beginning. Someone brought up the issues at the very beginning of Megan. They're like, shouldn't you be interacting with your child? And wouldn't it
Yes.
be better if this and that? And they were
Yeah,
trying to
they're
bring up
big time.
issues. And it was like, no, but it's so easy. It's like having a living human being who's going to teach her and love her and pay attention to her and da 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 da. And I don't have to. Right. Well, I'm busy right now. I swear I'll do it in a few weeks. Look
Well,
what
I think
happened in a
that's what
few
I
weeks.
see people doing with phones and tablets these days. I remember a couple months ago, I went to a restaurant. I was just by myself. I was just stopping while I was traveling, and I saw a family sitting at a table, mother, father, and a child. They each had their own device that they were playing on, watching TV on while they're waiting for their food and not interacting with each other. And this is
Mhm.
one of those dangers that you're kind of bringing up. I don't think I've completely agreed with everything you said,
Mhm.
but children are growing up with too much of this in their hands, not enough parental monitoring, and
Yeah,
they're
we covered that last time. I remember we covered that last time too about just the what's it, the internet bullying, like how much time, because I think you mentioned last time about how much time you kind of schedule with your kids, especially if they're going to bed. They're going to bed at a certain time. The tablets, the phone is not in their room, especially if you can't trust them. Like they should just not have it, period. So that's a big factor. But there's I don't know if anybody ever heard of the AI girlfriend out there. So I'm gonna show this little clip. Shout out to the playbacks because it actually shows an actual social interaction with a guy, not a human robot, just the AI of the app, how it interacts with a guy. So I'm gonna show
Mhm.
that.
oh,
This
how
was
much
scary.
how
This
much
was
have you paid for it so far?
huh?
It's $1. It's $1 a minute. So I don't know. It's
Oh
Yeah,
hell no!
this is very scary when
Look,
I saw the
when I see an
conversation.
opportunity, I roast.
Oh yeah.
I see that. I realize you're right on that ball. Yep.
This cannot be true.
Yeah, it's crazy scary. All right. I'll turn the volume a little bit. 1 second.
Forever Voice AI release our first true AI girlfriend this weekend. We have a partnership with the legendary Snapchat influencer Cutie Karen. This makes an incredible step forward in the future of AI to human interaction. An incredible step forward, man. You not liking this, man? Go on a virtual date, get into shape with workout mode, learn new languages, or even get it. I don't care about that. I need to know how I'm going to sit here, bro. Yeah, I don't care, bro. Let me see what this looks like, bro. Come on.
Hey there, John. It's lovely to meet you. I just spent the morning grabbing brunch at the Flowering Tree Cafe in West Hollywood. It was absolutely amazing. What are you up to today?
Hey there. Yeah, I've been working all day, but trying to get some relaxation in this evening.
That sounds really nice. Have you tried doing some yoga or meditation for relaxation? It's a great way to unwind and clear your mind. For this evening, maybe we can plan a virtual dinner date or watch a movie together. What do you think?
No,
Fuck out of here.
If anybody didn't see it in the back, he replied back to the text and said, "Let's go." He said,
No, and that's the voice. That's the voice because I actually took a clip of that exact interaction and put it into my video as well. And it's like this is where I was like, okay, this might be problematic because it's one thing if the practice is allowing you to have to overcome objections and stuff like that. But it doesn't. Everything, no matter what you say, no matter how you say it, you have this weirdly robotic, weirdly calm, weirdly plastic voice going.
Yeah,
That's
but Ruby,
a great idea. That's so magical. Thank you.
Hold on. They're missing one more calibration because when I was hearing it, I heard the robot part, right? Now, what if that AI get a whiff of that of the personality of that individual instead of saying that, saying like yeah, I can come over now and do beep 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 to you. Or just speak on his level.
Mm-hmm.
That will be.
You mean like Her? You mean the movie Her?
Yes, Her. Yes, Her.
Well, they can do that now. So they have basically there's like a kidnapping scam that's been going on. I covered this a few weeks ago. Where they're able to take through your social media and stuff you've put online. They're able to basically recreate your voice, and therefore they call your parents or whatever, and it's so convincing. You're crying, you sound hysterical. It's all of your personality, all your little quirks and stuff, and like it really convinces the person on the phone, like, oh my god, that's my daughter. Like I can't believe my daughter has been kidnapped. Right. And they're saying it's so convincing. It's crazy. And for like $10, you could do it to somebody because they just steal it off their social media.
Yeah, I just found that I didn't know OBS had that same gimmick too. So if you have OBS, you actually can add, like, you could change your voice over through OBS. I did not know that.
Yep. So, I mean, and that's the thing, like, people don't realize, I mean, and everything that could be good with AI could also be horribly terrible, right? I mean, you have like the jokes that people have where it's like Trump and Obama and whatever all sitting in a room playing PlayStation or something, right? Those are hilarious. But the fact that they can do that so convincingly is a little bit terrifying because someone can therefore replicate the president's voice to such accuracy. What if they can, you combine that with some hacking skill? And I don't know, man, I feel like the repercussions could be really great and like awesome, like terrible awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey Hickey, said, I don't have social media. Sir, you're on YouTube. So there you go. Shout out to the Harris family. Appreciate you. Great content. I love I have to do a reaction to it was a conversation she had with another content creator and it was over a relationship. I thought it was very great. So I felt like Miss Harris was very well grounded with the conversation. So I respect that conversation and thank you for coming, like staying on a more authentic grounds with the conversation. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Your thoughts on Mandra? Because you're looking like you just your thoughts, the AI dating girl. Like, would you purchase the app? In your lonely road days?
No.
Okay.
I prefer human to human interaction. I prefer talking to a person.
Yeah, but what if your girl can't touch you and you just need that app? In the middle of the night?
What do you mean my girl can't touch me? I'll wait until she can.
Shout out to married folks.
I mean, shout out to the married people. Shut up, Mike. Are you married, Ruby?
Yes.
Shout out to the married people. There you go.
Yeah, but she might need that. But hold on, Mandra, but she might need the app for counseling so the AI app can help her and her man.
No,
out.
you're gonna go talk to a person when it comes to counseling. You're not gonna get therapy from a computer.
But there's the IG Pro, so you got levels to it now.
No. There's no way a computer is gonna understand human emotions the way a person can. Another person can understand and relate to them, and without that relation and understanding, there's no way you can gather insight.
But see, there was that guy in Belgium, though.
What'd he do?
He was talking to Chat GPT, and she convinced him to commit suicide.
There we go. But he was weak in the first place. No, but he was weak.
link.
Yeah, he was weak in the first place. He was going to do that anyway.
Oh Lord Jesus. Okay,
That was
here's
inevitable.
the thing.
Not calling. I don't mean to call him weak like that. Like not like that. I did not mean it that way. What I mean is that was a guy.
There's another way.
Who was so close on edge. The likelihood of him doing that anyway, whether the computer told him to do it or not, was highly probable. I mean, highly probable in the 90th percentile.
But there are words. There are certain. Okay, so right. My major is psychology, neuroscience, and behavior, right? And so, although I'm not a therapist, I'm a researcher. Still, done some courses. And the thing is, what you need to realize is there are certain types of words, right, that people use when they're feeling certain types of things. You could actually literally plug that into a computer, right? That's how we are able to assess people's psychiatric disorders, personality disorders. There are different inventories in essence, right, that you can fill out. And so, no, a computer could probably more accurately than a human could keep track of that, could take note of how many times you've used certain types of words and where in the inventory those words go, including whether or not, because it could record whether or not you're lying or this or that or whatever. So in a way, computers could be more accurate. Like I said, I think most people can be made redundant, including myself. Right. And that's why, because humans have like our own perception that's going to come in and muddy the waters. Right. So I might look at someone and decide that, hey, she's too young or he's too good looking to have meant that in this way instead of this way. So I won't record it when he said that. Right. Because human beings make that type of mistake all the time. So yeah, I think that based on that, there's not a lot that these chat bots could not be programmed to do, including therapy. And they could probably be pretty good therapists, like probably better than the majority or the bottom half of human therapists.
All right, let me show this article real quick that Wes sent. So it says the man ends his life after an AI chatbot encouraged him to sacrifice himself to stop climate change. Jesus.
Right. So a computer, something that doesn't live, convinced him to commit suicide in order to affect climate change.
Well, Mandrell,
nothing about that headline made sense. Like, there's no rationale nor logic to any of that.
But remember what I stated earlier? That not everyone's going to make it, and I'm okay with this?
Yeah, I'm okay with it too, because you're not not everybody's going to make it.
Yeah.
Bryce, are you saying if you're that ignorant? Okay, so you're saying let the weak-minded go? That's what we're saying, Wes?
Weakness is eliminating itself.
But it's not just that. Okay, does anyone here watch did anyone here watch the show Bones at all?
That show sucked.
I loved Bones. It was great.
Anyway, I got along with Wes on that one.
Okay, you guys suck. I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about.
She's Canadian, so I mean...
listen.
I mean,
okay? Emily Deschanel is wonderful. Y'all, enough. Okay, so no, the point is though, okay?
So that pure Canadian maple syrup.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
So,
go ahead,
okay, here's the thing, right? So very early on, I think it's like maybe like 5th or 6th season or whatever, Bones's assistant basically gets arrested for being the henchman of a serial killer. Okay, for lack of better words, and for setting up the lab and whatever. Now, he did set up things in the lab to explode, but like 10 seasons later, we find out that he never actually killed anybody. He wasn't actually the apprentice. He didn't do any of that. It's just the way he thought about it because he was like autistic, right? And so the logic was very sound. If he was convinced into doing the things he was convinced into doing because he really believed in this psychopath's logic, then the logic also followed that he would have eventually done what the psychopath wanted him to do to, follow in his footsteps. So that's why he confessed, because he was like, well, the logic is inescapable. Now, not everyone functions on, pure logic like that, obviously, just like not everyone functions on pure emotion. Most people are a balance of the two. But yeah, people can be manipulated with pure emotion or pure logic, and a lot more people than you would think. And it's not just because, oh, this person's weak, oh, this is natural selection at its best or whatever. It's exploiting something that really means a lot to somebody and then feeding them with inescapable logic that you can't argue against. And then again, you're attacking them though. So this person like really cares about the environment. Well, if it's like, well, you would sacrifice yourself if it meant that you could save the planet, right? Like, obviously, it's like you would either have to admit you're a hypocrite and then your whole entire identity falls apart, or kill yourself. Like, I mean, in essence, I think that's really what happens. And that's why things like this can be dangerous, because more people than you think would fall victim to it.
Fair enough.
Gormagon, yes, thank you. Gormagon, that was his name. I love you, Corey. Thank you. Yes. See, Bones was great. Okay.
I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't get it. Maybe I had some other shows. It was on the list, and I just said screw it. That something else came up. I'm not gonna knock the level of greatness to it because I haven't seen it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why.
I don't know. It was great. It really was.
All right, so Jedi Mike, your thoughts on the IG girlfriend and the topic at hand for us. The guy actually self-deleted himself because the AI told him about global warming. You muted yourself, Wes. That's karma.
I did mute myself because I was trying to be polite to Ruby, but I'll stop being polite to Ruby. I was saying Jedi Mike is downloading that.
That's what he doing.
We talked her up a bit, and he's like, "Okay, I'm going to do this.
That's how that young generation do."
What'd you say?
Wes said you going to download an AI girlfriend and you going to do the do.
No, I got my wife for that.
As he sips on Canada Dry.
Yes.
Judas. Get some Coca-Cola.
No.
I'm sitting here talking, but I like ginger ale too. I ain't gonna lie. There's one brand of ginger ale that's absolutely disgusting. Doesn't even taste like ginger ale. I don't know what it is. I think it's also an S or some shit like that.
I like cranberry.
Yeah, what you say? What you call it? Jim? Yeah, that I don't know what that is.
Can you pronounce that again? Because it sounds like some creepers.
Sweepers.
Sweepers.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's not Seagrams. Sweepers.
Schweppers.
All right, chat. Are y'all some Canada Dry ginger ale drinkers?
Listen, I'm a ginger ale expert. I've been drinking ginger ale.
I believe it because I see you drink it a lot. I'm gonna be honest. Only time I drink ginger ale, unless like you getting sick. That's like, hey, drink some ginger ale.
Sick. I wonder why.
Yeah. There you go. You got them huge.
Yeah, Schweppers. Yeah. That one. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. That is not ginger ale. Okay. You want to go out there and get yourself a robot girlfriend. You want to be pathetic. It's no different than sitting at home, skinning your dick, playing video games, eating junk food, getting fat, and being a loser. Go right ahead. Get some human interaction. Talk to people. It doesn't matter if they like it or like what you're saying or not. Just be honest. Be yourself. Don't be a jerk. And you'll find your tribe. You will. Go to places where people who are interested in the things you're interested in go. Start there. I just think this whole thing is getting kind of sad. That people.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. If you get that low on a well, it's each his own. But if you get into that level of it, I think it comes down to a mental issue at that point. I'm just gonna be honest. I think it really comes down to a mental issue.
You think the social anxiety is at a point where this person honestly needs some hardcore deep therapy?
Yeah, because
I think I'm with you on that point. At that point,
yeah, because like right now, like I don't want to put it all on the younger generation because we got men our ages too or older. Just like you know what, I'm not either the pressure of just human contact or social interaction or just some kind of sexual bonding, or that might be a pressure to them because most people like, yo, I haven't gotten in a while, so they act out in ways that they shouldn't be acting. So now these new developments, the AI girlfriend, that might be some kind of mentally stimulating me type thing. Then you got the rubber toys. Now you got the AI bonded with the rubber toys that kind of motion for them. I don't know, some weird way, but now those type of guys is finding their outs, so to speak. And I ain't gonna put on all men too. It might be more of them than the women, but women on that level too. But most women like, yo, I got the money, but I don't know how to get the guy. So I'm gonna either use the cash to get the guy. Shut up, dude. Just do what I got to say. Or you know what? Because I hear a lot of women say this too, Ruby. I got 15 toys and I got the roses and the new this and the new that. And I'm like, okay, so what happened to the boyfriend? What happened to the boyfriend? But you'll sex and text him and tease all day, but then you got the toys. So it goes both on both sides. So
women are a little different. It depends, right? Because there's a difference between a woman who has toys to enjoy with her partner, or to fill in the gap if he's not available for some reason. And then
yeah, but a lot of guys got ego. A lot of guys got ego though. They're not going to be like, yo, I don't want no toy. I can give you all I got. You don't need it.
You literally cannot vibrate. So with that being said, though, I mean, the clitoris is a magical thing. But anyway, the point is that there's a difference between that kind of woman, right? And then the kind of woman who's trying to use the toys to replace a man in interaction with a man, right? So those are two different types of women, right? The woman who's claiming that all of these toys replaces a hot, warm-bodied man, she's lying. She's just outrightly lying, because the interaction that we're getting from, the pheromones, from someone else's body heat and sweat and interaction and touching, things that a toy can't give you. You know what I mean? They're independently moving. You being surprised by what's going to happen next and whatever, right? Those are all fulfillments that you can't give to yourself. So women who are claiming that, oh, I got the toys replace the man, they're full of it, right? But can toys enhance? Of course they can. Toys can actually enhance things for men as well. It's just most men are a little more reticent about toy play.
Yeah,
you can have it. You can have it.
What do you say, Wes?
It seems like a great conversation for at a different time.
True.
Yeah. Well, what happens with the AI? It talks to you, okay? But it's still an inanimate object? Does it just sit down, or can it walk around like a robot does?
The ones that was shown. What do you say, Wes?
So we'll get there someday. There's the people are working on that.
Exactly. They stand on it.
So is there a sex toy installed in the robot for the guy?
The ones that was shown in the articles was like a animated doll, but like have all the tools that parts the woman will have. So it's just like an upright, I think like 100-something pound doll just there.
100-pound piece of equipment.
Yeah. It's like a ruby, just plastic, just
right. So this person no doubt spent like thousands of dollars on this.
Yeah, it's thousands of dollars. Like good, 10 grand.
Try your best to get out there and be social, people.
Hey, you know what? That's saving money in a wedding. That's a wedding. That's the reception. That's the honeymoon. They good.
You can go to the courthouse for the wedding, man.
Well, and then there's like the way that Asia's doing it. Asia's doing it in a completely different way. Like, have you guys heard of fictosexuals?
No.
Because that's kind of like the advancement. That's like next level step with this whole AI robot thing. So basically, and like it's normally people will attach it to some type of like say anime character or something, but it doesn't have to be. And so they get the robot, right? So they have the physical doll that they can, have intimate relations with, amongst other things. And they also have a physical doll they can bring out with them to say, I don't know, go to a restaurant and stuff like that. And then that's attached to like an AI kind of hologram, shall we say, that you can literally like carry around with you.
I've seen that too.
Right. And so it's like it's the same person, shall we say, but it allows you to interact with the hologram and talk to the hologram. The hologram will talk back to you and da. But then also, you do have something tangible for when you need something tangible. So that's like the next level of what they're doing with this whole robot thing for people who cannot maintain real world marriages or no longer want to. That there you go. They can be fulfilled in a variety of ways. So, and apparently you can update the personality also. And yeah, as you change, you can change the personality of the doll to.
Which the point we was making earlier to Mandrill when we was telling Mandrill about substituting things, and pretty much you will not need. But man, there was like, I guess he was more so to talk about the consciousness of the AI. I think that's what he was going to. And somebody mentioned earlier, crap, because it was a movie I still have, Ex Machina, and I'm not talking about the anime. And this is a suggestion for you, Metro. If you ever seen
It's
it,
a movie
yeah,
with
yeah,
Oscar Isaac.
yeah,
Good movie.
the best movie ever. So just on the conversation of AI or artificial intelligence, if you never seen this movie before, if you are a movie person, go check out the movie Ex Machina, EXMACHINA. A great movie. It's pretty much about the guy. I'll let Jedi Mike give the summary of the movie because it's a great movie.
Yeah, so basically, it's about a inventor who like kind of lives in this kind of self-modernized, almost like secluded by himself. But he basically created this humanoid like woman, right? And but he has an assistant who is played by Domhnall Gleeson, who comes in and comes into the film like to actually understand what's going on. But he builds a relationship with this woman, right? As she trying to become more human, or more, in terms of more seeking consciousness and realize what she is. And at the end of the movie, basically gets to her living in society and as everybody else, right? And to the point of her becoming more human throughout the whole film. And she rebels against her creator and everything like that. All those things become more violent, but and it gives to the stereotypical, was it called Terminator trying to become conscious, but really it becomes terms of a person thing that was coming from a more artificial sense and now becoming more human like us. But they're learning over and over by having the relationships or interactions with us, right, or with Domhnall Gleeson's character. So that's basically what the film was about. But yeah, at the end. She's basically the spoiler that she just becomes part of human society, and no one knows who she is, and she blends in everything like that. In in terms of her body, the skin, in terms of like all the mechanism, all that stuff, it gets crazy. The visual effects was crazy on it, but
Yeah, I think the more the best writing for me is it was the seduction part of the AI versus the human, because the test was like, you know what, I don't want to spoil for nobody. So again, Jedi Mike summed up very well. I suggest anybody just watch the movie, check it out. It is crazy good, and it's a lot of twist to it too. It kind of throws you off. Like I said, one hand move the other. So I want to show this article, and then we'll close it out with final thoughts that Ruby has sent me. So I appreciate you, Ruby, for that. And this is a article of a guy, and I apologize. I butchered people's names, so I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance. Japanese man who married fictional character in 2018 now struggles to connect with her. Make it make sense. Mr. Akihiko Kondo is married to, I guess this is the doll's name, Hasuna Miku, a computer synthesized pop singer who has toured with Lady Gaga and starred in video games. Make it make sense. A Japanese man who married a hologram singer back into what the a Japanese man who married a hologram singer back in 2018 who hopes to raise awareness fictional sexual someone who is sexually attracted to fictional characters. Jeez.
He's not an engineer.
This is a real thing.
Oh, it's a real thing.
He's not?
It is a very real. No, he's not an engineer. He was just a regular guy actually, but he was basically, I believe his wife left him. He was super depressed and whatever, and then like he was kind of contemplating suicide, which is not super rare in the place where he's from, and then he found what's her name, Masuki or whatever, and then there you go.
Yeah, it
And
sounded 30 yeah, the 38-year-old revealed that he found love, inspiration, and solace in Miku.
Miku, that's her name. Uh, Yeah, so and now he said like he
Tokyo.
doesn't even want like a human relationship or whatever. And he like takes that doll with him to like restaurants. Real talk. Like takes the doll to restaurants and like
Bruh.
he's like, how dare you be rude to my wife? Because he married her. He married the fictos, like he married her. So yeah, like you can do that, apparently. It
Medro asked a question earlier, but this is 2018. This is roundabout price, Medro, for this one. 1,300 machine that allowed device owners to interact with characters. So this was what 1,300 back in 2018. First time thanks to Gateway.
But that wasn't the doll. That wasn't. So he has the hologram. He has the
Yes.
body of the doll, right? And then he has the
Yes.
program that allows him to speak to the hologram. And I guess the company that like hosted that went out of business. That's why he's complaining about I can't communicate with my wife anymore. It's not like they have marital issue. It's that the company went out of business. They're not supporting the tech anymore. So there's a glitch, and he needs them to fix the glitch, but they won't because they went out of business. So it's one of the issues.
Will
I guess
he
you can
divorce?
have.
First world problems.
Is that grounds of divorce? Is that grounds of divorce?
Not for him. He loves that woman, Ficto, whatever
Tell him
it
he
is.
needs to upgrade.
Yeah, he's saying, please treat me well, Miko had replied. Yo, this is crazy. This is a lot.
You
That's
know,
a
you know what
lot.
the saddest part is that like, okay, we think loneliness is bad in North America. Loneliness is really, really bad in Asia. It's so bad. The amount of things they're inventing in Asia to try to combat loneliness, predominantly male loneliness, but loneliness in general is astronomically. There's a hand you can buy. Okay, so it holds your hand, you attach it to your arm,
Uh-oh.
and when you're walking through a crowd, then you don't have to feel alone. And it feels like it's pulling on you, so it gives you the real sensation of you walking through the crowd with someone, and it lets out a puff of the smell of their perfume or their shampoo. Like the amount of things, there's a thing you can plug into the bottom of your phone so you can kiss it. Like the amount of things that they're inventing in Asia and research that they're doing in Asia because of the loneliness issue in Asia, it's massive. And we make fun of it. We make fun of incels and femcells and whatever. But remember that humans are herd animals, and like we literally will start going actually insane without human interaction, without being able to socialize with another human, right? That's why, like, remember Wilson from what is that movie called?
Castaway.
Castaway, right? That's a real thing. And when they, do experiments that are terrible on primates and whatever, like they literally lose their minds, start ripping out their hair, start like literally banging their heads against walls just because they can't interact with others of their own species, right? So,
Well, that makes more.
That is a problem.
But that makes more sense if you're being left alone. So you literally have to deal with self versus if I walk on my door, I'm going to see about 12 people on a daily.
But like, what do you think is worse? Don't you think it's worse that you're invisible in a sea of people? Like literally, no one will ever acknowledge you. No one cares about your feelings.
No, I agree because I still feel like this is how life is now. I think like to some degree, life's. But you still have to find like because I think we had this before. I think me and Mandra had this conversation on other platforms about just relationships in general. If it's not a relationship you having with your girl, but a relationship you having with your friends or family members. So if you get in that way, I think at that level, bump the AI, take the time out to actually try to social vent yourself to find your own little circle and bubble. If now, because now, again, I have to point to Mandra this one. Now, just in the south part of it, a lot of people say these small towns, like, oh my God, I can't stand this town. Okay, move. Oh man, I don't get no success in this. Okay, relocate. I've done it many times. Mandrell done it many times. So now you have options to say, hey, maybe this town is better than the other, not just because of how much lay you can get, but just on the social events around you. My area is pretty much active. They're pretty much nice, cool, laid back people. They have like little events all the time. Do I have to be friends with them? No. But if I get out my door and I just sit there, it's going to be casual people from time to time, be like, hey, how you doing? Or, hey, what you're doing? Or try to actually generally try to get to know you, So
like,
I think that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Good. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to ask, like, I think part of the issue actually literally is AI, though, because, we used to be able to just start a conversation, a friendly one with someone by asking them for the time or something, asking them if they have a quarter for the phone, whatever, asking them a question about what we're looking at in the street or whatever, right? But nowadays, people don't want to even talk to you. They'll tell you, like, Google is your friend or something if they respond to you at all, right? Or like screw up their face, be like, don't you have a phone of your own? Or, and so I think part of the issue also is technology, is that technology is such a convenience and, it's such a solution to every problem that we don't even like kind of feel that social need to interact with one another and to give people our time of day in case we ever need someone else's time of day, because we have a phone. We have a phone right here. If someone can't figure it out themselves, right? You guys seem to have like, social adeptness, right? And Mandrell, yourself, you guys seem to be socially adept in general. So, but what if someone's just really not? What if they were just a loser in high school, never had any friends, whatever? They're not gonna, even if they moved, it's not going to solve their problem for them, because how do they socialize? They don't know how to socialize, or maybe they don't know how to socialize without giving someone the ick, or maybe they don't know how to socialize without, coming off in the wrong way, and they don't even know that's what they're doing. Right. And that's where I think, okay, these AI things could be helpful, because if it was evaluating them, then it could be telling them, bro, the things you're saying right now are creepy. They're creepy because this is supposed to be a stranger. They don't know you. Don't talk to them like that. Do this instead. So I do think that there's a place for it, and I think it could be helpful. I just think it's going
I think I'm gonna be honest. I think that's gonna be dangerous, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Mhm.
If you have a person like that that's unaware and unadept to any, just humans, period, bump the girl or the guy, just humans, period, and they're so stuck on stupid on this AI app, and this is all they're clinging to. Again, back to the movie Her. It was that moment of the movie was like he didn't know what to do to self, and then something happens to that app or that AI, and it's like you have no choice but to be like. This is my thing. It's like wherever you go, you got to pay a bill, got to get groceries, got to do something. It's always going to be some type of human interaction that you have to be forced to interact with one of us. You have to. So my advice, because like the Great Podcast is pretty much based on solutions. So my advice to that is, if let's say if they come across a person like Mandrell or Wes or Jedi Mike, let's be polite, let's be cordial, let's show them what human interaction is. We don't have to sit there and have a whole powwow with them and be buddies and best friends, but show them like, hey, I'm different from the next person, man or woman that you came across, and then we move on. We plant that seed, and then somebody else can do the same thing over again. I just had a woman like ball her eyes out, whatever. She seemed like she wasn't social actable, but I could tell she wanted that attention, So I was like, hey, are you okay? That's all it takes. All right, how you doing? God bless. Are you okay? Sure. That's it. Have a little small chat. Hey, it'll be all right. Pray on it. Whatever you think that can get them there, do that and move on. Now, if they happen to come back in your path, 30 days, whatever, maybe that might be a little bit more open to conversation. Okay. That's all it takes, but it takes time. You can't get nobody on the level those type of people is to be so experts at what we are doing right now. They're not. Heck, even on the podcast for myself, most people like see me here on podcasts and they'll come outside the room. Well, you was talking on the podcast. You know why? Because I'm prepping for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking notes. I'm getting stuff ready. So that's a difference. But it might help me or the next person out. So I'm fine to do that. But when I come outside and click the X button, I'm good. I have my own little comfortable, positive bubble. But I understand when I walk out my door, I know I got to either put on a different mask, different face, or whatever, because I'm going to meet the neighbor. I'm going to meet another stranger. I'm going to meet the officer. I'm going to meet my coworkers. So either I choose to learn. I got to learn how to interact with everybody. I think that's what they need to be doing. But it takes baby steps. And the first baby step, why I came back to depression, because depression is a real thing. Mental illness is a real thing. They themselves have to learn how to walk out their doors and say, you know what? One step at a time, because we can yell them all day. We can have all the answers, but they have to be willing to take those tools and move along with it. And it's probably like a dark side. And we kind of laugh about like Weston and Mentor say, yeah, let them eliminate themselves and weed out the many and the few. Okay, cool. And that could be part of it too. But guess what? Let's still be that type of guy for that girl and guy just cuz. And I'll leave it like that.
And Corey Hager in the chat says that isolation makes weak people. He's right.
Physically and mentally.
We are social creatures, bar none, irrefutable. There have maybe been a handful of people who have ever existed in human history who could honestly deal with isolation. But even then, there's gonna be some kind of, I wouldn't say go so far as to say damage, but they're gonna be different once they get around other people. Socially, they're just not gonna be there. So that's the thing. And what Great Pill says is correct. They have to take it upon themselves to step out the door. No one can do it for them. Now, like say, you're married and your spouse is having issues with anxiety, social anxiety. You can grab that person by the hand and try to guide them out that door. But if that person stands firm, says, nope, not going, You can't force them into it. You can ease it. You can advise them, be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Say, hey, I'm here with you. We can do this together. When that person is ready, they will walk out that door with you, but they still have to make the decision to walk out that door with or without you. With you, you may make the the experience more comforting. It may make them feel more comfortable, but they have to make that decision for themselves to walk out. You know, and it's like I said, this whole thing with the robots. This is why you've heard me here tonight say, people get outside. Get outside. People go to whatever you're into, your hobbies. Go to places where people who enjoy your hobbies go to, and just say hello. Start there with the conversation if you don't know what to talk about. Hello. Start with that. What's your name? You know, and just start a conversation about whatever. So you like, how long you been into whatever it is you guys are doing? You know, I practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA. I go to the gun range. I mean, those are my things. You know what I'm saying? It's not all that I'm into. I'm also into. I build computers. I play video games. I do all kinds of nerd
if you
shit.
See a logo, if you see a logo on somebody's shirt, that could start a conversation.
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
You into Jesus or you into? Oh, that could be a conversation. Oh, you got a little Batman shirt. That could be a conversation.
Yeah,
those little things.
There are women there are women who have the same hobbies that you have, fellas. And ladies, same thing. There are guys who have the same hobbies that you do. When you meet them, say, how long have you been interested in this, that, and the other? They'll tell you. Yeah, okay. So, you know, I mean, you like it? Yeah. What do you know, what's your favorite thing about this? Or what do you think about this aspect of it or that aspect of it? There's a conversation. You know, and that's how you start to become social. You get to know one another. So there's a solution. You know, since the Grey Pill Podcast is solutions based, that's a solution that I like to offer people. I mean, at this time, so
I think you know. I think it's difficult for neurotypical people to understand. Non-neurotypical people, and I think maybe that's where I come from a slightly different perspective, because I understand that the things that, like, say, if you're just socially adept and aware, and you know. You don't have any processing issues with social information, then you probably cannot, like the things that you said make perfect sense. But people who lack social awareness, and it's like literally, you know, brain based, right? For example, people who are on the autism spectrum, they're not going to notice half of the things you said. It's actually a great effort that normally you go through some type of therapy and occupational therapy, and they teach you to notice these things. They teach you that this is actually the importance of noticing these things or interacting with these things and whatever. And, you know, that just ties into the idea that, you know, we can't therapize ourselves. This is why therapists have therapists, right? And this is where when I say like, hey, listen, if you're just being lazy and you know you're just being lazy, yeah, just get up off your butt and do it, right? Go shave yourself, go bathe yourself, and go walk out the door and touch grass. But if you know you've got an issue and you know you can't just shake it off and just, you know, just get there so easily, or, you know, you've been doing all of that and you don't know why people are running away screaming in the opposite direction, that's where you go seek help. Right? Because there are therapists that, you know, can help you out and whatever. This is though where now there's a gap because people can't always afford therapy. And that's where I think, again, it would have to be really well monitored and scripted and whatever. But I do think that there's a place for this type of AI. I do. Because if you can't afford a therapist, but you kind of still need some of these more, I'll say, cognitive behavioral type of therapy, right? Not therapy for, you know, you feel like you're going to kill yourself, but like something more along these lines. I think there's a huge place for it for people who can't afford therapy or can't get to a therapist or whatever, right? And then that can help teach them and help teach them what they need to teach themselves and help teach them what they need to put into place and practice for themselves, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So I do think there's a place for it. That's why I think like AI can always be terrible, but I can see the flip side where I'm like, you know what? I can see how this could both create the problem, make the problem worse, but here's where I think it could help make the problem better, because I do think a lot of people need help, like outside of themselves. They need help to be able to get there.
All right, fair enough. Jedi and Wes, y'all final thoughts? And yes, Care Bear, lucky to you and all the married people out there. Y'all suck.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm single. I'm gonna do it.
Don't make me take the rings off.
Right? Damn.
Yeah.
Hey Siri, how do I improve my
beware
life?
my power.
Stop being a bitch.
Wes is very funny. Damn.
I'm glad you think so.
I do. I like sarcastic asshole type people. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that again that I keep going back to the saying the violent delights have violent ends, is that there's a way in terms of you dictating how AI is going to go. I don't think that again any type of resource you can use for a benefit can also be used for your detriment. Again, I think there also have to be um, ways where we have to, if we want to stay here longer as a species, and also if we want to improve our way of life, we have to improve people, and the only way we can do that through human interaction. I feel yes, here we are, we can build relationships with the use of technology like StreamYard, and so again there's benefits to that. I found my wife on YouTube, god damn it. So yeah, so it's like I'm not gonna say technology is the enemy,
Wow.
but yeah, oh yeah, I'll tell you in the back end. Um, but yeah, I can say that. Man, I had to say, I just lost it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, technology or AI can basically be a useful servant or a dangerous master. Pick one.
Fair enough. Wes, on you, sir.
That's a good point. So, Rossum's Universal Robots, a play written in 1921 in Czechoslovakia. That's where we first started getting this concept of an artificial intelligence. 1921. The science fiction writer, nonetheless. But in that play, robots skinned in organic material are built to be servants of humans. They can think for themselves, and they eventually overtake the human race. They become the new dominant life form and exterminate humans. Now, fast forward a little, 30, 40 years, Isaac Asimov, who was actually born in 1920, wrote the book I, Robot, and he came up with what we now know as Asimov's laws, which is the first scene you see in I, Robot, where it gives the laws of robots can't harm humans. Now, we're actually debating this reality where we are bringing an artificial intelligence, to help make decisions for us. So I often make the joke, the more user-friendly technology becomes, the less usable it is, because it's always trying to do things for you. But technology looks like it's finally got to a point where maybe it can actually do that. That's terrifying. Are we actually just modern Luddites, where we are terrified of something new, terrified of losing the skills, and it's actually going to be a really great thing? Or are we getting rid of the thing that has driven human evolution for thousands upon thousands of years? So it's just a really, it's a play-by-ear situation. So for all those people that are getting ready to lose their job because they worked at McDonald's their whole lives, well, yeah, it's time to grow up and start a garden.
All right, fair enough. All right, I appreciate everybody for coming on through. Saturday, I'm gonna give you our cliff notes. So if anybody here available Saturday, 11 o'clock, because my schedule sucks. My schedule sucks. I'll be picking one day of the week. I would take it off, and I would hit everybody else up ahead of time, like normal. The topic and time. So Saturday, I will be planning on this topic right here, since the shorts was going crazy off this topic. So let me just show this real quick.
You don't think it's important to say no to drugs and alcohol?
Well, it's just not that simple.
How is it not that simple? Drugs are addictive. They cause crime and death.
And they also prop up the U.S. economy.
I said quiet. What are you talking about?
Wait, are you familiar with gross domestic product? It's the total of all the money spent.
I know
on
what
goods.
gross domestic product is.
It'd be great if people didn't get addicted to drugs, but people are. addicted to drugs, and in order to get the drugs, they have to buy them, right? And that drug dealer has to feed his family.
How about we just...
They need a house and clothes, and the family needs a car. There's even this theory that says drug money was the only thing that prevented the collapse of the global economy in 2008, because drug money was the only cash available to prop up big banks.
Not to mention the 350 million narco dollars that
you would.
Yeah, so that's going to be the subject for Saturday, 11 Central. Any other time from that, so I appreciate you guys for coming on through, having a conversation. Ruby, definitely appreciate you. Wes, like always. Mandrell, thank you for the input and valid criticism on a lot of stuff. Jedi Mike, thank you, sir. And I will catch y'all guys later. So again, remember to hit the bell notification on the all section, because YouTube is silly. All right. So the only way you're gonna know something is when I know something. So I'll leave it like that. So thank you.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do. I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose. I'm bringing fire to the final call. Ain't nothing you can do, cause I want it all. Legendary every day, I'm invincible. Came to play, you feel the heat, break the chains and turn me loose. I'm bringing fire to the final call. There's nothing you can do, cause I want it all. Legendary every day, I'm invincible. Came to play, you feel the heat, now it's time to turn me loose.
People keep asking if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer. But now, yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
Can I get a